I'm Dr. Jacoby Cleaver.
And I'm Dr. Jacob Wilson.
And we are the OD'ing On Movies podcast.
We're two practicing optometrists who love movies, and we found a way to combine our two loves into one podcast.
We pick a movie, we watch it, we break it down while incorporating the optometry elements.
So grab your favorite movie theater snack and let's get started.
Hey, welcome back to the OD'ing On Movies podcast. I'm one of the co-hosts, Dr. Jacoby Cleaver, joined with Dr. Jacob Wilson. And for those who are listening and not watching, we have a special guest with us this evening, a close friend for many, many years now, but it's rough to get this person on the podcast. She's like, have your people call my people. I'm like, Dr. Johnson.
Driving around in Alaska.
Who you want me to call myself to get you on the podcast? But tonight we have Dr. Essence Johnson, and she said in the movie we're going to talk about, she said the only stipulation is we have to discuss the book and the movie. So that should give you guys a little hint as to what we are talking about. We couldn't record this until Jacob went and read the book. So we are discussing The Housemaid tonight.
Wait, am I the last one that read the book?
Yeah, we waiting on you, man.
You behind.
I don't like having that put on me. I didn't know that. Okay. All right.
Yeah, man, we waiting on you. But, Dr. Johnson, for those who may have been living under a rock for the last 5-10 years, brief introduction of who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, hello, everyone. I am super excited to be here with both of you. I am so happy that now I got people and y'all got to call my people, and I'm happy that my people could arrange this for us. But I am Dr. Essence Johnson, an HBCU MAID, residency trained, community, correctional, clinical trial optometrist. I do a little bit of everything right now in the practice space. One of the biggest things is I like helping people, students, scholars, alumni, get more involved in their healthcare careers. So I'm the director of healthcare careers at Uplift Education. I'm celebrating my 3rd anniversary there. We do a lot of workforce development work, just getting them kind of involved and engaged in healthcare education, exploration, and exposure, kind of just, what are the things that we would have wanted or needed, and being able to infuse that in a K-12 education system has been amazing. And then I still practice part-time right now, just kind of traveling state to state in a clinical trial space. I was just seeing a patient the other day, and we showed up in our big yellow bus from 2020 on-site, or truck, I should say. And she was like, "Oh, you came here for me?" "Yeah, girl, we came here just for you." Concierge service. She was like, "You don't have any other patients?" No, I got on a plane and flew all the way here just so I could check and take pictures of your eyes. So getting involved in that life science department with 2020 has been a lot of fun over the last couple of years. And just to add icing to the cake, I'm also a professor at the Rocky Mountain University School of Optometric Medicine, helping with our optometric physicians or future doctors there. And just when you think I did not have any more time, I'm a wife and a mother of 2, and I love to read is actually one of my fun facts a lot of times. I love reading. I'm not one of those people who read like 100 books a year. I try at minimum to read 1 book a year. And Dr. Cleaver, actually, I was one of those people who only like physical books or books on my Kindle. But I want to say over the last year, we started listening to books, which has really increased my productivity and my multitasking. So I have started to fall in love with listening to books. But the key is the narrator has to be good. Sometimes the narrators are not that good. And kind of a fun fact about our girl Freida we're about to talk about, she recasted one of her books because the narrator wasn't doing it justice. So it's all about how a book is narrated, that now I can listen to them and enjoy them. And the first book that I listened to like that was actually Will Smith's book. I was reading it and I was like, Will, you kind of write the way you talk. And it was really difficult to understand.
Did he read it himself?
he reads it himself. And the other perk, which really got me into audio books, was when it's like a celebrity book like that, like he like beatboxes, he's singing parts. Like there's a lot more like audio things that happen in the book than him just reading it. So that really got me into more audiobooks, especially because my favorite genre of books are celebrity autobiographies, kind of that self-help genre. I definitely like the coming to age, of the tween 20, 40-year-old woman going through things. And what we're going to talk about today, psychological thrillers, are like my favorite books. And until I read this book, nothing could top Gone Girl. And I have to like, I don't know. This is
Wait a minute, because you did say your favorite movie was Gone Girl.
My favorite movie is Gone Girl. My favorite book is Gone Girl. Like, call me crazy psycho. My husband knows the warnings are out there. I love Gone Girl. Like, I love a psychological thriller, and that one, like, for all the years, because I'm sure at this point it's probably been out like 20 years. I feel like Gone Girl. I can watch that over and over and read that book over and over. It is like my favorite, the first psychological thriller that like I fell in love, that I was like, oh, this is my kind of book. Like,
I like Gone Girl.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
That one's, I don't know. That one's kind of on another level. That Gone Girl. I haven't read that one though. I've only seen the movie, but.
Oh, see, yeah, Jacob, you have to get into, like, my thing is with these books, I like books that become movies. I'm normally not the other way around. So I have to, like, it could be anything. It could be, there's a lot of books. Anything that has like a book, or it's like a movie, or it's on Netflix or Hulu, I read the book first before I watch the series. So like Little Liars or The Fires Everywhere, like any of those types of books, The Help, like all of those I have read first, and then I go and watch them. I will never watch the movie first if there is a book out or something that's in a series. And then 99.9% of the time, the book is always way better than the movie. But I have to.
Okay, whoa. Hang on to that. We're gonna. I have to say, I know where you're going with that. So we'll get into that. But
that's go ahead.
We're going to disagree. Yes, I'll tell the audience. But I don't know where Jacob stands, because I purposely told him not to tell me.
Okay, well let's talk then. This is y'all show.
Jacob, you want to kick us off? So we're gonna discuss the movie first, and then we'll in between we'll intertwine differences between the movie and the book. So there may be some spoilers out there for you guys, but at this point, man, Housemaid, the book has been out for a long time, and the movie's been out for over a month, nearly 2 months now. So if you haven't seen it by now, then I don't know what to tell you. Jacob, kick us off.
Yeah, we spoil stuff on this show sometimes, so I think we gotta. Yeah, we're talking about The Housemaid. God, I saw the movie. There's just a lot of hype about the movie. I feel like with Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried being in it. So Jenny and I went and saw it. And then I read the book, or I listened to the book, and it was one of the better. Because I agree, sometimes there's narrators that aren't great. This one was done really well. The author did a lot of different, or not the author, the narrator did a lot of different accents and everything. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the movie. So we start out with Millie, who's now this is one of my major beefs. I don't know if we want to start off right from the beginning, but one of my major beefs with the movie is there was no way I was going to believe Sydney Sweeney was a girl from Brooklyn. She's we don't know much about her, but we know that she's coming from Brooklyn. In the book, the narrator has a really thick Brooklyn accent. In the movie, it's just regular Sydney Sweeney with brown hair. So it's just Cassie from Euphoria with brown hair. That's all it is.
But that's why I like to read first, because sometimes when you go and see these movies, you already made a person in your mind, or maybe you're the kind of person, you know, this is where like my optometry comes in. It's like, maybe I'm not visualizing a person. I'm just truly like inside their soul. So I just hear their voice and understand their mannerisms. And then you go and see a movie and you're like, this is totally not who I pictured in this book. Like, this is not who I made Millie to be in my head. You know, like Millie had a different vibe.
Yeah, totally different vibe. But I couldn't, even the book, when I listened to the book, the cover on my Audible app was Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, because by the time
really?
it was updated,
Yeah.
we just had like
okay.
people when we were listening to it.
Okay. Huh.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, if I had listened to it, that's not who I would have pictured at all. But yeah, so she's driving into this incredibly, you know, rich looking fancy house. I think they're out. They're like on Long Island, maybe?
Yeah, Long Island, correct.
Okay. But yeah, she's driving up there and she's showing up for a job interview to basically be a housemaid. Nanny and a maid, really, is what they're looking for. For Amanda's character, whose name is Nina. And her name is Nina. What's Nina's last name?
Calloway. Nina Calloway.
No, because isn't it Millie?
Oh, no, Millie's Calloway.
Millie Calloway.
Nina Winchester.
Yeah, Nina Winchester. There you go.
Winchester.
Yeah, because you know, I started reading the second book in the series, and I'm not sure if they mentioned Millie's full name in the first book, but in the second book, they go all the way in and say her name is Wilhelmina Calloway.
Yeah, they don't mention it right away, but they do mention it.
They do? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
because you would think Millie as a nickname and her name is Wilhelmina. It's like, it's not Millicent, it's not Willie. She is a Millie.
Why don't we just?
Yeah,
we can't call Sydney Sweeney Willie.
Wilhelmina's a cool name.
Hey, Willie.
I wonder how the author came up with that name. I'm sure there's a reason for it, right? Maybe we should look into that. Maybe we should look into that.
I'm sure she read something or knew someone, and I don't know. But yeah, the interview seems to go pretty well. You know, Nina's pretty impressed with Millie's resume and everything. But we're getting some narration in the movie, at least, and in the book we are, of course, too. Some narration from Millie, and so after the interview, it seems like it goes really well. And then Millie goes, yeah, it went well until she does a background check on me. And we don't really know what that means right away, but it sounds like Millie has a past and she's completely made up her resume. We find out that Millie is, you know, her glasses are fake, we find out. She just wore glasses to seem smarter during the interview. She's living in her car. Also, I got another thing I couldn't believe, and I don't know if this was me. I was not believing Sydney Sweeney as a girl living in her car. I just wasn't.
No, because you wouldn't. Because Sydney Sweeney would never live in her car, but Millie would.
But Millie would, yeah. So,
and Millie is, right. And we'll get to why she's doing that in just a second. But let's spend a little time on the glasses.
Okay.
I had a patient once come in wearing glasses, but it was just the frame. There was no lenses at all. And my nurses was like, what do you want us to do with this? Do you want us to check her vision with her wearing the glasses? I'm like, you can't just there's no lenses in there. Just have her take them out or just have a look through them. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all. Yeah.
Just be sure you label that she's not corrected, right? So in your careers, have you guys, even with kids, have you had kids that might have fuzzed a little bit during the examination and wanted to wear glasses, or adults that went above and beyond not to wear glasses? Any thoughts on that?
You didn't give me the third option. I also have people who will do anything just for a pair of glasses.
Well, let's hear it then. So 3 options there. Let's hear it.
Like, I do think, like, yeah, like what you're talking about, people can malinger and they'll try to get glasses. Then there's those people who, like, you give them glasses and they're like, oh no, but do I have to wear them? And you're like, we've had a whole conversation. It's like, you saw for yourself.
Been hanging out all afternoon.
Yeah, like, you definitely need glasses. But then you also have those people.
I don't even know how you got here today.
Right, yeah.
Level of vision without glasses, right? So.
No, that is so true. Yeah, they're the ones with the most denial. Like, but you're saying I don't need them all the time. You're like, no, I'm saying, like, you should have wore them before you got here. Like the pair that you left. And then we do have those people who are like, they really don't have a prescription. They're like, so I can't get glasses. And you're like, you can 1000% get them, but like,
you're not, you don't need them.
But you want to know something that's kind of a fun fact? And my husband, he may kill me. I love him, but he wears glasses that their only function is he really wanted a pair of transition lenses. So I made him a pair of glasses. And the lenses transition.
Well, that's fair though. I mean, yeah, that's fair.
But he doesn't necessarily, like, they're Plano. He doesn't need glasses, and he wears them religiously all the time. But I think it's because he hangs out with all of us cool ODs, and like we wear glasses, and he's feeling left out. And so he has this really cute pair of wood grain on the side, black matte transition lenses, all because he wanted to experience, what it was.
A nice pair of glasses, if it, regardless of the prescription, if it's giving you some kind of functionality, speaks volumes, right? Like, so even in Randall's case, he's wearing the glasses and he's giving himself the UV protection with the transition when he's outside. Because I know he spends a lot of time outside with coaching and everything else. So that makes total sense. Makes total sense. And even a non-prescription glasses is pretty beneficial with the lens quality and everything else in it. So you add anti-glare and those kind of things. It does make a huge difference.
Well, and he gets to the point, like, if he doesn't have them, like, he misses them. And I was like, yeah, this is what I tell people all the time. It's like, once you get AR and some transition, like, you can't go backwards. So, like,
the world's beautiful with transitions and AR.
There's no way, like, I would ever get glasses with anything less than that, because, like, everything's just too bright and just too whatever. But
you do get,
you know what? And I think sometimes in some patients it's just a mind thing too. I've had patients with a quarter diopter of a prescription, and they want something just for the computer, and they're just all sold on the blue light protection and everything else. And I don't argue with that. I don't argue with it at all. I say, okay, cool, fine.
I mean, I don't either. In my household, everyone has 2 or 3 pairs of sunglasses. The kids have blue light glasses. I mean, I subscribe to it all. Unfortunately, they did not inherit my eyes. And so right now, everyone is good, but they still know the importance of sun protection and all of that. So, I mean, I don't fault Millie. Girl, wear them glasses. If you feel confident, you wanted to land the job, you wanted to detract from your background check getting flagged, I mean, wear the glasses.
And we should know, even in this scene when she goes for the interview, the house is immaculate. It's spotless. Everything is where it needs to be. It almost looks like this is going to be a cakewalk gig. And Millie needs it because she had a job before working at a fast food restaurant.
Diner.
She quit or got fired or something from that.
But,
no. She got exited because
well,
man was getting a little handsy, and she had to let him know.
Oh, that's right.
Remember?
Yeah,
that's right.
That's an important.
That's
very important. Millie does not like being degraded, especially by the men variety, and Millie knows how to hold her own. So
we're gonna get into it.
Well, I want to. Well, I'll say one thing about, I get kids that want to try and pretend to get glasses all the time, but I do retinoscopy on them usually, but when I was a kid and I had my like +6 glasses, I never wanted to wear my glasses. I mean, they helped me see, but I felt so goofy looking. No one else had glasses on, and nowadays everyone wears glasses. Kids think they're cool.
Kids think everything. Anything we thought was goofy, Jacob. My son is 7, got braces. He's the coolest kid in the world. I said, since when are braces?
Braces?
Oh,
cool?
man.
Like,
kids
want all of it these days.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what the hesitation with the glasses was with us, but no, you guys are absolutely right. I had a kid the other day who said that she wears the glasses, but she doesn't want to wear them all the time. So she's like 6 years old. So I said, well, explain to me what that means. So when do you like to wear them? And she said, I like to wear them for school. I like to wear them for TV. I said, well, do you have a tablet that you use? She said, yeah. I said, well, okay, bet. Wear them for school, TV, and a tablet. That's all day. Like so I'm playing her game to her, right? And mom and dad are laughing at it. But I think in this instance, like, you really kind of have to empower the kid to do it, because there is some obviously there's some social implications of that, and kids can be bullies and everything else. And so if you do stand out a little bit, then that may make you a target, unfortunately. But I normally tell the kids too, and I guarantee you, everybody in your class probably needs glasses. They just hadn't gotten them yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we know how the trend is going. So you're the coolest one in the class with the glasses, you can see. So yeah, your other kids, you know, them other kids don't even know what
better like options. I think like even I've posted before on social media, like my very first pair of glasses, these like translucent lavender. I feel like, you know, there was an AR, the lenses were all thick. Like they should be blessed that, like, thank you to all of our lens companies. Things can be thinner, lighter, you know, your frames are cuter. Like there's no excuse. Like I think back when we were still in that, like, things truly were Coke bottles. And like,
you know what, that's a good point, because what was popular on TV whenever we was kids?
Hold up, I want to say we're saying we a lot here.
No, sorry. Jacob's the young guy here. I'm sorry,
Jacob when he was a child.
but Family Matters and Steve Urkel was extremely popular.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that.
That's true.
Everything was like Kid and Play, the 80s, the night, like just the style of clothes and hair and fashion. So it's like when you're trying to translate that more mature style on like a 7-year-old getting glasses, you're like, I do not want to look like Sally Jesse Raphael. Like it doesn't translate the same, you know, 60, like very different, you know, and maybe back then she was probably only 40 something when Dr. Cleaver and I were young children.
I'm Googling who that is right now. Hold on.
Oh no.
Yeah, whatever, man. Sally Jesse Raphael with the classic signature red frame glasses.
Red frames, Sally.
Those are some glasses, yeah. Okay.
She made it popular.
All right.
She made it popular, man.
Yeah.
All right, so where are we at in the movie now?
Well, you know, what happens is we find out here Millie just kind of offhandedly mentioned she's been in prison for the last 10 years. Again,
that's what I don't believe. If that's what you want me not to believe, that's it right there. Like really? Like 10 years?
And you know what?
To the best of them.
You know what you got to do to get 10 years? And so that gets said, and I was like, I have one family member that got 10 years, I think, and I was just thinking of that. I was like, come on, what did Sydney Sweeney do that she got 10 years? And she's what, 25 right now or something?
Yeah, like her formative years.
And if you got 10 years, that means you probably got 20. And
yeah, no kidding. So I was like, I guess
she said that though. I think she definitely had a longer sentence, and then like she was able to get out after.
Oh, and she's on probation, and that's
remember, like she has a whole situation going on.
Yeah, that is a good point, because she does have to keep a job for
she has to report into like
and she's got to have a place to live, so she can't say she's living in her car, or she's gonna, which seems crazy, but that's real. You know, if you don't have a place to live or a job, you're violating probation. They'll send you right back. I was talking to Jenny, my wife's going to be an attorney, and I was talking to her about that. She's like, yeah, it's like a cycle people get in. Not that we're going to get too much into it.
It's like you arrested me, took away 10 years of my life, and then you want to release me and just I'm supposed to have everything going, because definitely in this first book she doesn't talk a lot about her own home life and family. Like we really don't even know if Millie got parents or siblings or anything to go back to. It's like she got out of prison and just was like, and now you need to acclimate back into life.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. That's a great point. You're absolutely right about that. Huh.
Yeah. So it's like, it's what you do. So when she gets a call back from Nina, and Nina offers her the job, and it's a live-in position, it's paid. It seems like a dream opportunity, because she can now say, I have a place to live and I have a job with income. Probation's going to be fine.
Kind of sounds like your dream externship or residency. We always love a place that gives us
a
place to live. A little That's almost how we were when we were in school.
There's my plug for IHS residencies. You basically get a place to live.
That's an important piece, you guys. You may want to put externship sites and residencies that.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Jacob. I was talking to a student the other day, and she's interested in doing the residency IHS, and she mentioned the panel you did for us as part of the BEPPOC last year.
Okay.
And I can't remember the lady's name. Maybe I think she was a residency director or something like that. But the student met her, and she told the residency director about the panel that you did, and she said, "Oh, we know Dr. Wilson. We just love him to death, and he's out here speaking up on IHSs." I meant to tell you that the other week when I spoke to the student, man. But yeah, so
that's cool.
Your name's ringing out. You definitely influencing some folks to go IHS route.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great way to go, and it's a community that has so much need, right? But you will learn so much too, and yeah, send the student my way if you haven't already.
Okay, we'll do.
We'll chat for sure. But yeah, so basically, Millie is doing an IHS optometry residency at
the Winchester House in Long Island.
At the Winchester House, yeah. But yeah, so she shows up for her first day of work, and immediately things are different. The house is just in complete disarray.
It looked like a tornado here.
Mm-hmm.
That house looks nuts. It look, you know what? And I have to say this because she recently passed away. The mom from House.
Oh yeah, Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Home Alone.
Yeah, Home Alone.
That house looked like the house in Home Alone when they was getting ready to leave for the airport the next day. It was just a mess. Like it was clothes everywhere, and you would think that it's like a house full of people there. It's just Millie. I mean, excuse me. It's just Nina, her husband, and their daughter.
Right.
Crazy.
It looks in disgust, like gross, crazy. And I'll say, and Nina immediately is not the nice, like, kind woman she had been. She has mood swings. She tells Millie to do things and says, "I never told you to do that." I would say the most accurate part to me between the book and the movie was the way Nina acted. I thought Amanda portrayed that really well.
Uh-huh.
I think that's what I like about the movie a little bit more, because when I was listening to it and reading it, I was really like, I have to tell you, it took me a while to like get into the storyline, listening to it. And I had to like re-listen, even read it while listening, because I was like, at first, what is happening right now? Like, what did I miss? Like, I was like feeling gaslighted. Like, I was like, she did tell you to do. Like, I'm with you, Millie. Like, she said do that, and then she's like, so I had to go back and like reread that. I was like, maybe did I mess something up? So the movie really like made that more like obvious, because I just feel like in the beginning, as you're going along this journey, I also felt gaslit. I was like, hold up, let me go back, because I swore she said go pick up her child. And then she's like, why would you do that? And then it's like the friends are in, you're just like, what's happening right now that everyone is like, girl, there's no way that she told you to go and do this and this and this. And you're like, I just read that. I know she told you. Like, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it was, and they portrayed that aspect really well in the movie. Yeah. But I was like, there's no way anyone would put up with someone being this crazy. But I guess it would only be an ex-con that would maybe put up with it. I don't know, but it was. I
mean, we put up with some crazy stuff. I think the other like type of crazy, like, yes, Nina was crazy, but like to even see in the movie, like truly how the house is depicted. Like we said, the house is big, y'all. Like, I mean, people think my house in Texas is big. No, this place is like cribs. Like there was like a downstairs to the downstairs. She's like, come upstairs, and you're going up like several levels of stairs that twist and turn, and like even to just take that on to say I want to clean a house. I'm like, girl, like you want to clean this 1 million square foot house? Like,
yeah, it was a huge crib.
But when it's on Long Island, I mean, that's a $10-20 million house probably sitting on Long Island that big. They had a movie theater downstairs.
Yeah.
And that's, and Millie starts having these experiences with Nina and lying and stuff. But the other thing that's happening is Andrew, Nina's husband, is a pretty attractive guy. And Millie notices him. She's trying to control her feelings and urges and things like that. And she doesn't want to make Nina jealous. And Nina is obviously getting really jealous throughout the movie. There's a scene where in the movie, they are in the movie theater downstairs. In the book, I think that she just came to get something to eat in the living room or something. Yeah. But it's middle of the night, and Nina catches Andrew and Millie just kind of chatting. And Nina gets really, mad, tries to fire her, all of this stuff. And
Yeah,
he tries to fire her like 3 times.
I mean, depending on who you ask. Yeah, depending on who you ask. Like either she was overreacting or she wasn't reacting strong enough. I can see where her anger would come in. Like you come from downstairs, your husband's sitting on the couch with another attractive female. She had on nothing but like undergarments for bed or whatever else. Because I can see why she would be upset. But I felt like
not undergarments for bed though.
Yeah, but you know what?
Undergarments.
The book and
her long johns on.
Yeah, something.
But I think like the movie did a better job too of like, I don't think in the book Nina ever gave Millie like that agency to like in the movie she explicitly was like, su casa is mi casa kind of thing, and like whatever you need. In the book it was not like that, so it's like when things do evolve it's like a little more like of a shock, versus here in the movie it was more like, oh no, I had to separate, like I already kind of know what is going on. My husband was watching, he did not know what was going on, and like
okay.
Yeah, so it was like a totally different, like I was watching his reaction. It was like kind of cool to be like, I've already read this book. It was not a movie on his radar. He's doing this for me. Like, this is like, well, go see your little movie type thing. Kind of like how we first saw Gone Girl. And then he's kind of like, I said, see, you see the stuff I like. I said, this wasn't like spooky, but the psychological thriller is not The Wire. It's not they shoot him up, but like so he's watching it and I could tell, like I wish I was recording his reaction because you could slowly like see him like getting more like invested in the storyline. I could see how his mind is a little tripped up, and I was like, oh, I can't wait till things turn kind of thing. Like watching it in him, I was like, oh yeah, no, he is not suspecting anything, and he's normally pretty good at predicting, but he was really like at one point sat up straight, was like leaned in, and I was like, oh yeah, it's about to go down, it's gonna get real good type of thing, so I did like the way that the movie kind of set it up a little bit better, because I do feel like in listening to it and reading it, there were pieces that like my brain just couldn't put together, like the image she was painting. Sometimes I was like, what? Like, I guess my mind was in disbelief sometimes of the story she was telling.
That's funny because in the movie, the twist, and we'll get to what the twist was, it didn't make any sense to me walking out of the theater. But I saw the movie first, and I told Jenny, I was like, I don't really get how that happened. I'm so confused. And the book made it make more sense for me. And I guess we'll get to the twist that we're talking about here. But basically,
even before the twist though, Jacob, like people, if you've never read a Freida McFadden book, so how did we get on it? The first Freida McFadden book me and Jacoby listened to was The Coworker. And was it just because I feel like, again, we were going down this rabbit hole of listening to books. We both have like all these library cards, and maybe sometimes they recommend something off of something. And like me and him, we had like our own little friend book club. It was like, did you read this? And like he would check out something, check it off. Then I would go and check it off, and we're like swapping books. So one of us, I think Jacoby started, he was like, read The Coworker. So we're reading that. And if you guys like have never read a Freida McFadden book, she has a very distinct style of writing. I've read at this point 4.5 of her books, and like they're all set up the same way. So they're like 80 chapters long, which sometimes gets intimidating, but like they're split up into 3 sections. So it's like first section is, this is all about kind of Millie or setting the tone. And then it's like the second section is kind of like the swap. And then the third section that I really like and they kind of did in the movie, kind of like Gone Girl. It's like, now I'm about to tell you 6 steps to do blah, 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 step 1. So it's like all of her books are written exactly like that. Even The Coworker that's in the Housemaid series, where it's like, we set the scene in the first third of the book, the second third of the book, then it completely turns on its side. And you're like, oh, I like the first, even having read The Coworker, I still wasn't anticipating. I guess I didn't realize that was her style. So like even reading The Housemaid as like the second book of hers, I was like, I like I said, the first third I was lost. And then this swap happens. And then I'm like, OMG. And now it's one of those books where you're like, which one is the truth now? Like now you make me want to rethink and reread everything, because you just totally swapped the tables, and now here I am, hating Millie at this point because she is pushing up on the husband and all. Like, I was ready to throw. I told you, I had to take a break from that book because I was like, this little bleepity bleep bleep bleep. I'm about to and me and Millie were cool, and then we weren't cool, and then I was like on Nina's side, and then me and Nina were cool, and then we weren't cool, and then I'm like, what the hell is happening? I don't know who to trust. Andrew, I'm sorry. Like, I was like so confused.
Yeah, I think just to revisit something, I can't remember who I asked about Freida McFadden. I can't remember if it was a student or it was our colleague Eric Harris or Roz. I think one of them told me about the housemaid, but it was checked out on the Libby app and whatever else. And then I did the coworker, and they said that one was pretty good. I wouldn't mind them making the coworker into the movie, to be honest with you.
The coworker,
but that's how we got on Freida McFadden. But she's extremely popular, man. I mean, the students in the club love her. A lot of students read the books, and usually that's where I get my recommendations from. I just ask them what they're reading or what they're listening to.
And fun fact, because I had to go down a Freida McFadden rabbit hole because I'm normally a Colleen Hoover, all those other people. She was new to me until all this hype came. And then because of how her books are, and after about like book 2, I was like, what's wrong with this lady? Like, who has wronged her that her mind, like that her alter ego is like this twisted sometimes, because there's just like so many common themes that show up. And then like to find out, Freida McFadden, of course, is her pseudonym type of thing, but she's a whole brain surgeon doctor in Boston. And you're just like,
that's cool.
A lot of these psychological thrillers are written by dope doctors that I'm like, man, we see a lot of twisty stuff that they know how to like. I've read a lot of psychological thrillers that the authors happen to be like doctors or in the healthcare profession, and it makes for really good books. But I also need to know, Freida, like, are you divorced? Do you have a that will also help me understand you a little bit better.
That's a fantastic point, because you sent me the interview and she was saying how she was practicing at the time. I think she's still practicing. I'm not sure.
She still practices.
But she was writing under the pseudonym, but also she was doing her best to separate her work life from let's say her bonus life, so to speak, right? And she said she didn't want it to cause much of a distraction. But I think this is great when, like, if she was my doctor, I would be fascinated with that, because I would. I want to know something about you outside of what you do every day, right?
Yeah, and I wouldn't have mind her name being Freida. Like, now that I found out her name is not Freida McFadden, I kind of feel some type like Freida McFadden's a way cool name.
That's her pseudonym.
That's her pseudonym. I was trying to figure out what it is. She does pretty good of like separating. I tried to do a Google search before there. Someone said her name may be Amy. It may, but like that, if you're not going to find Dr. McFadden at the Boston.
Right. Gotcha. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, our colleagues, specifically optometry, we talk about burnout. And I know this exists in other professions as well. But if you are experiencing burnout, why don't you just find a hobby or something that you're good? Now, I don't know if you're going to become a best-selling author or anything like that, but it just seems like, and it seems like she's always had a gift for writing, but it seems like this was her outlet that she just enjoyed to do. And I would encourage anyone listening, find an outlet that doesn't have anything to do with your job, and if it gives you joy, then you should do it.
Yeah, and if you got to change your name and live a double life, then go for it.
Yeah, having a good job that you like it's a great tool to use to be able to do things that you love, like hobbies that you love.
Yeah.
So another author that's a doctor that went to started out as a physician is Michael Crichton. So Jurassic Park, Spain, all that, and his are all really sciencey, science fiction type books. So he's one of my favorites.
I definitely like doctor authors. I mean, this was a surprise one, but there's also a lot of other books that I read that if a doctor wrote it, I'm going to go and read their books, because especially when they have like the medical undertones, because those tend to make, like, there's the one called The Patient, I think it is. There's a couple of really good books that have like, that's my other genre of things, like things with a medical undertone that are like fictional books. It's also a really good genre of reads if you're into that kind of stuff.
I'm pretty sure Michael Crichton screen wrote the show ER in the 90s
Mm,
with George Clooney and everything.
yep.
So I've never watched that, but I wonder how cool that is.
You just feel so old, Jacob. You've never watched ER? Have you watched House? I love House.
No, but I know House. The Pit is the show I've really gotten into that's medical. That and there was one a few years ago called The Resident. Those are the only two I really got into.
The Resident is a good one.
Freida McFadden, I think I got her confused with someone else, with a different author at first when you guys mentioned her, because there's another author that a lot of her movies have been getting made into.
Yeah, that's Colleen Hoover.
Okay. And I think it might be her. Her books tend to be a little more on the sensual side, I guess you could say. So that's what I was thinking this book was going to be, especially because in the movie
they made it very sensual, but her book, it wasn't that.
Yeah. Anytime there was any kind of sex scene, they just woke up the next morning.
Yeah. You love a good book like that, like blank page, and the end is kind of like what's that one with Edward Cullen and all them? That's kind of how it is with their love scenes when you're reading Twilight.
Yeah.
Jacob loves Twilight.
I know.
Yeah,
I really like the books. I do like Twilight. Well, I've read some of these other books that were on Jenny's, like Libby or whatever, and we were listening while we're on a road trip, and the detail we got into in some of these scenes, I'm just like, what are we listening? I was like, is this what you listen to?
It's real, like, very 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, all right. But so kind of what ends up happening is Nina tells Millie to buy concert tickets. And then she gets mad at Millie for buying the concert tickets because they're on a day that she can't go. And it's this whole thing. And she tells Millie she's going to have to pay for these super expensive tickets. So what ends up happening is Andrew, the husband, and Millie end up going as friends. And the night devolves into a lot more than friendship. In the movie, there's a pretty steamy sex scene. In the book, you just kind of know what happens. And
there's a lot of imply, for the silver screen, they got to make it.
Yeah, true that.
Spicy.
Yeah. And that's probably honestly why they, cast who they cast, I would think. But yeah, and then it's a kind of a secret that they're keeping from Nina. But then finally she basically gets the cops called on Millie for saying she stole the car and all this stuff. And you find out that Nina knows that Millie went to prison and she's known this whole time. And blah, 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 blah. And eventually what happens is Andrew says, Nina, you are so cruel, and kicks her out of the house, And the other thing that's important is he really wants to have children, and Nina can't have, another child is another important part that happens there.
And I think, the movie and the book play a little bit different on that, because in the book, I don't think she got arrested at the grocery store. Like, that was something we added in, like the movie piece of it, and then getting into kind of more detail.
Oh yeah.
And the gossip with the friends about like their fertility journeys and what is even sometimes even with us talking about this right now, it's like, was Nina really crazy? She was just plain crazy. Like these elaborate plans. And I think that's what I like about like things like this book and Gone Girl, like, which is like the crazy part. There's you guys, I don't need help, but there is an Instagram tile, and pretty much the one I shared with a friend said like, I'm going to start like writing lies about my life now. So when I die, my family would think this is what really happened. And like, that's like the amount of like legwork that goes into like sabotaging something. It's like, this isn't one moment in time. It's like, this is a well thought out plan over months or even years with research. And even like this whole thing, like we keep talking about like Millie going to jail. Like that is a very important piece of like, Millie went to jail because when she was in college, she thought that, or it appeared from her vantage, that her friend was being taken advantage of.
Was it college or was it like a boarding school?
It was a boarding school.
Boarding school,
like high
she was
school, right?
in-
It seemed like she was a little younger than college.
Okay, so she was a little, so that makes even more sense in her.
Yeah, and I think they were wearing uniforms and stuff at that point. So
Yeah.
And I think she definitely was getting taken advantage of. At least in the movie.
Yeah, I think 1000%.
No, she definitely was. Yeah,
and then the friend is like, no. But then at this point, Millie has like blacked out and like killed a person with her bare hands pretty much. And then this is where she's going, all because her friend wants to deny that was even the case. Right. Instead of it being self-defense, it turned into a whole like intentional murder case or, homicide type of thing. And so that took away a decade of her life.
I feel like they could have made, I mean, even in the movie and the book, real life, I feel like they could have made the case that was going on if the friend, even if she didn't testify. I mean, just the way the things look. But I watch a lot of.
I mean, you also sit on grand juries and stuff.
So I watch a lot of Dateline and stuff.
He's very well versed on how this jury stuff works.
I could.
Well, I don't just if she had only hit him once with that crystal ball thing, but she kept going. So I don't know.
Tomato, Jacob. It was one time.
I'll say that after we finished Gone Girl for the first time, Jenny verbatim said, if you ever cheat on me, I'll do that to you.
Wow. So, I don't believe it.
That's out here now. So if you got anything ever happens.
I mean, Jacob, most of us took the same vows. Me and my husband have a death. It's still death. I said, there's another lady out there, she's going viral on the internet, and they were like, have you ever decided on divorcing your husband? She was like, no, ever. But murder?
Oh, I didn't. You see me that. That was funny.
And I mean, and like we're laughing, again, don't call the authorities, but this is kind of the themes and the notions and the stereotypes that Freida is like playing off of like, these women want to exit their marriage. They do not want to go the divorce route. They're also very wealthy. And apparently, if you marry someone very wealthy, there may be a very nice, sizable insurance plan. And if you happen to unalive them by means that may not seem like that, then you can inherit all of these things. So there's always these like alternative.
And that's a great point. Because Nina wasn't interested in leaving before. And the reason she got with Andrew, because they met crossing paths at work. She had a pretty embarrassing accident.
Yeah, but what kind of person was Nina before, though? Like before she was Nina V. Winchester, she wasn't any different than Millie.
That's right.
Nina, with Jacob,
she didn't go.
Have a child.
She wasn't a cold-blooded murderer from Brooklyn.
No, she wasn't that. But she, but that's how they got together, and you kind of she got immersed in the lifestyle. That's when we find out that Nina's daughter, in fact, is not Andrew's daughter. So Essence made the point earlier that Andrew wants to have kids, and Nina can't have kids. But I think later on in the movie, it came out that this is purposely done. She had paid the OBG or somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. That part is still like I got to keep.
Still kind of
and she held him. She had a private investigator catch him cheating on his wife.
That's
right. Like she was into blackmail and stuff.
So she's shady. So this is when the movie really starts to pick up for me and the book. So Nina's gone. Millie assumes the role of Nina. Her and Andrew are together or whatever else, right? And it looks like it's just.
But keep in mind, we're just saying that tongue in cheek, but like. Nina in her bipolar gaslightness, like Millie and Nina look very similar, as you guys like kind of see from like the movie depictions. When Nina was in these rages, she's like offloading all of her stuff to Millie, which later she accuses Millie of like stealing. So it's like she like made Millie into the 2.0 version of her. Plus there's like Andrew gets painted as like a very narcissistic kind of guy. Like, Nina has blonde hair. She's not getting her roots dyed. And, here's Millie with her like freshly dyed blonde hair. Like there's just a lot of things that while you're like, oh, Millie, you little homewrecker, but it was like also like there was just too many situations, especially in the movie, where it's like you're setting this up. Like no woman who wants to keep their man would like allow some of this, like even in her craziness. It's like, girl, like,
you can't bring her in here.
Yeah, like
you hiring Sydney Sweeney as a housemaid. Yeah, that's
like, we don't want her as housemaid. Like
even if you do bring in here, she got to go home.
She got to put on clothes, like all of those types of things. And we didn't even say, so like they give her a room, because that's the other like twisted part in all this. Like they give her a room in this Winchester mansion, and like I don't know, she's at the very tippy top of the house in like this tiny room that I guess is kind of fit for a bed.
It looks like a cell.
Yeah, like it looks like a jail cell. Like and then like magically the door keeps getting stuck or locked, or there's no ventilation. Yeah, like it's very like, girl, this is how horror movies are made. Like the first time that door got stuck and you had to jiggle and push a couple more times and yell, like, I mean, but again, her motivation is she has to have housing.
Yeah.
But, like, girl, like red flags. Like there's a lot of red flags at this point, but she's like, I need housing. I need to keep this job. It doesn't matter how many glasses she breaks. She's throwing her clothes everywhere.
Like things are lining. I mean, it's shady as hell, but it looks like things are really lining up for Millie. That's what it looks like. You're like, oh man, I'm out of jail. I got this great.
It's that desperation. It's that
position. Now
you can never let yourself get that desperate. That like
we had mind blowing, incredible.
You guys ever seen? You guys ever seen that YouTube video from RDC World?
Yeah.
It's called "If Black People Were in Horror Movies."
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, needless to say, I wouldn't have lasted as the housemaid in
the minute that door locked from the outside. Yeah.
Nah, man. If I was Millie and I walked back in there the day I was hired, and I seen the house in that such mess, like, nah, I can't do that. No, only 3 people live here. Like, what's been going on? And I hadn't been over here in what, a week or 2? Like, come on, man.
Well, and then at one point she saw blood. Like that's where like we draw the line. Period.
Yeah.
Whose blood is it?
Like not a little bit of blood, like it's a whole murder scene in one day in the house, and she's just like, no, I'll just, and then she's going through the medicine cabinet, which I would totally do, like reading pills and stuff. It's like, girl.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of where the movie and the book differ a lot.
Yeah,
you guys can agree with me or disagree, but I can't remember what the incident was. I think did Millie broke a glass or a plate. And it was supposed to be an heirloom or something.
In the movie, she broke the china.
Yeah, broke a china. And earlier, the mother had brought the china over.
Yeah,
in the movie and in the book. But anyways, from that point, Andrew's upset. He makes it seem like it's not a big deal, but it's a huge deal. They go up into the room, the big room upstairs. They're doing adult stuff, and then she wakes up. Andrew, like the room has like decorations in there, but by the time she wakes up, the only thing in there is like the small refrigerator and the bed, like the little desk and everything is gone. So,
like
it looks exactly like a damn cell, and she's locked in there. So now we figured this is where we find out that Andrew is twisted as hell.
Well, see, this is where I get confused, because then, like at this point, you're like, okay, you're mad at Millie. Now you're mad at Nina, and you think she's crazy, and then Andrew pulls this stunt, and now I'm really like.
The movie had me so confused.
What's
the movie had me so confused.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, well, and then that scene where Nina
read the book. That's how Randall was. You're like, what the hell just happened? Like,
right, and then Nina was in that hotel room celebrating when she got kicked out of the house and everything, and I didn't know what was going on. I mean, I figured it out, but I thought the book made the twist a lot more clear that Nina had set this all up from the beginning.
Yeah.
I thought so.
And audience, if we hadn't said this, Nina has set this up from the beginning.
Yeah,
so just so we're clear.
And that's where things kind of change. And when I talk about like the book going in 3 parts, that's when all of a sudden like you go from Millie narrating to now it's like, hey, so I'm Nina, and let me take you back to like the beginning and like literally replaying the same sequence of events, but now from her perspective and in her motivations. Right. And now you're just like, OM.
Right. And I think that's easier to do on print, like in the book. Yeah. Like it's kind of harder to achieve that on film.
Yeah,
Right, but I think they
so.
did a decent job with it. But that was no fluff with the book. But then, like even the punishments
We're different.
Were
The punishments were different. I kind
extreme.
of like the punishments in the book better.
Me too.
That's what I
I didn't think the one in the movie made a ton of sense where she had to
Yeah.
cut herself. I was like, I don't think he would do that. I don't think he would have her like disfigure herself at all because he wants this perfect
Right.
looking.
Like I like the whole visual of like putting the weights on you, like
Right.
all of that made sense. And when I got there, I was a little disappointed because I was like, this was not the torture. I was like, everything was predictable. And then I get here and I'm like, why is she doing that? Like that is not what we agreed upon. And I don't know where in Hollywood they thought this was better for the screen versus like, because I didn't like the cutting. Like the cutting, like that.
It was just too much. Like it's just,
it was very like Hostel or Saw, something like that. It was like they were trying to go that way with it, but it wasn't.
I thought the punishment of her pulling out her hair was pretty cool because that lined up in the book as well.
Yeah,
but
pulling out.
I really didn't care for the cutting. I'd rather them put the books or whatever else it was.
Yeah, I liked the books. And I think even like the twist from when, because there's twist on top of twist in this whole series, but like, you know, okay, we find out that everyone's kind of like a sadomasochist in this house, and I don't know, too crazy. You know, yeah, even the kid. We didn't even get to talk to her because what I liked about in the movie, though, did you see in that dollhouse? I don't know. At one point, it was like Michael Myers and her mom, like living in the house at the table, and she kept switching things around, and every time, and I was like, this little creepy little child porn. Like, what is going on in this room every time she walks by? And that like little house scene was like, do. And I was like, oh no, I'm not missing any. Like, if you are into psychological thrillers, you got to look at like every drip of water, but that dollhouse in the situation that was happening, you were like, yeah, Millie, turn away. Like, why do you keep like, turn around now? Like, you have too many signs. The locked doors, this crazy woman. Now the husband, sexy but crazy. Even the little girl, she ain't that old. She doing crazy stuff and saying crazy things. And then like the crazy mother-in-law. And then like, I don't think the movie did almost as great of a job of tying it in together like the book about the whole like the stories behind the stories. Like
that's my biggest gripe is that I felt like they could have spent more time, and I know it already ran over 2 hours long, but I feel like they could have spent a little bit more time on Andrew's background and
that part was
the mother's background, because to have Sarah Paulson play the mother and you just get like glimpses of her, I didn't think that she would have just nailed the role because she's so good at everything that she's in, man. But I feel like they just should have gave her just a little bit more time.
Yeah, I do feel like Ian got a little.
And
like
maybe in the bonus clips or something, but I just felt like that they could have gave her a little bit more shine. But I know Freida, in her books, usually the female lead is it could be the villain and the hero at the same time. So I can understand why they didn't spend a lot of time on anyone outside of Millie. And but
I also kind of wouldn't have mind Freida like doing a little M. Night Shyamalan action and like appearing in her movie somewhere, like even if she was just at the grocery, you know, like be one of the ancillary
characters. So at this point, how did Millie get Andrew in the room?
Well, I mean, we haven't even talked about
in the movie and the book.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Enzo. You know, he plays kind of a role in all of this. We didn't talk about like she's getting locked into this room. Okay, yeah, Nina disappears. Now she's like assuming the role. Yeah. Then like because she broke the plate, now Andrew is like, I need to punish you. And she's like, oh, okay, you know, like she thought she was gonna get spanked. Andrew decides to like lock her up, and then she's really like, OMG, like, what do you mean you locked me up? But then like where things really like flip again, like, you know, Millie is like I don't know, do we consider her a classically trained criminal? Like, she kind of got like,
I don't know. Yeah, she's just a murderer to me.
I mean, but she's pretty good at what she does. Like, so like the whole gist of this is like people intentionally hire Millie all because she killed dude for doing what he did to her friend. And so all of these women that are in these varying abusive relationships, like I guess sometimes it's domestic, sometimes it's just emotional, sometimes it's just I made a poor choice and now I want out, but I also want their money in order to get out kind of thing. Like they are like intentionally, it's like, that's what I don't get though. Like they hire Millie, but then they're like gaslighting Millie on like their intention on why. It's like, I hired you all along because I figured if there was enough like lemony snicket chain of events, that would trigger this suppressed inner rage that keeps coming up. And then eventually we are banking on that you will completely destroy my husband for me, so I can collect the insurance money, be out of this abusive relationship, and then you'll just take the fall because clearly we think like you just like going to jail a decade at a time.
Right.
And like that becomes like Millie's
kind of messed up.
persona. Yeah. Like she is like she's like the Batman of housewives. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of other stuff we can touch on because we hadn't spoken about the daughter, but Andrew did a very good job of keeping Nina locked in.
Yeah,
because he played her pretty well and pretty good. I think at some point after she was punished in the room, she got out and she was extremely weak, and I think she was drugged or something. And that's when she wakes up and she's kind of out of it still, and she sees her daughter in the tub, and it looks like when the paramedics run through there and get there, it looks like Nina is trying to drown her daughter. Right. So, so that kind of a strike against her. So that's why the neighborhood everyone in the neighborhood knows this. And that's why they kind of
everyone is playing everyone though. It's like he set her up to be an unfit mom. So now she's getting revenge to set him up, while I'm also gaslighting and playing Millie to do my dirty work. Like it was like the weirdest murder triangle. That's even a thing. Like normally we used to love triangles, but it's like, what is this like clue? Like who's gonna get to who first?
Right.
At the end of this, and eventually, Andrew becomes a victim of his own "you want to play a game" situation. Like that part is wild. Like
so now they kind of in the movie specifically they switch spots. So Millie opens the door. Andrew comes in. Does she spray something in his face or
she pepper sprays him?
That's in the book, right?
The book, paper spray.
In the movie, there's like a little knife or something that was left behind, that Nina left behind, and she uses that to stab him.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So now the roles are switched. Andrew's in the room. Nina grabs the phone because Millie grabs the phone because she realizes that Andrew's been watching her the whole time on a close feed camera or whatever else, right? So now Andrew's in the room locked in, and Millie says, "Oh, well, now you have to you have to punish yourself," or something like that. And she tells him that he needs to pull out one of his teeth.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild. Something about his smile being so charming, because they did a real good job of saying how handsome Andrew was in the book and the movies. Like all the ladies in the neighborhood crushing on him and everything. But so she's up there. He's up there, excuse me, and Millie's kind of doing her thing. Enzo happens to be the voice of reason, and he talks Nina into going back to rescue.
Is he the voice of reason though?
Yeah, I mean he's crazy too. He's only in the States because he beat the shit out of somebody overseas who was putting.
Well, someone who killed his sister, right?
Because of the similar thing that his sister got into a bad.
His sister was killed though, right? Okay.
She got into a bad situation, and so he wanted to avenge her death. And like he is totally on this whole train of like, oh, some guy is not good to women, and he kind of knew that because he was the lawn guy, and he knew like weird stuff was going on in many parts. If you want to talk about all the red flags, Millie had plenty. Like he was one of them, like, don't go in there, leave them alone. Like you should turn around. And Millie is like, dude, what you don't understand is I'm on probation and I need, 2 hots and a cot. And they have that for me upstairs in this room that magically the door just gets jammed. But I think that that's like the biggest piece, that Millie getting the upper hand, Andrew getting in the room, and now she was able to inflict some sort of punishment on him. I just think that in the movie, they kind of rushed the significance of like, yes, he was handsome, but like the whole pulling the teeth also tied back to like the mom, and Like you find out that the mom was very psychologically abusive to him, and then like there's other like just subplots and twists, like they're trying to get her for murder, but then come to find out this in the movie, the police officer was, I don't want to confuse them, was a female, but remember in the other female. It was the guy who was like, this was my sister. So it's like everything, they're all start getting interconnected because they have some experience with like violence and abusive relationships. And so like eventually, Millie.
No way. Yeah, that's a great point. That's because no way they'd have got out of there. No way.
Yeah, like there's so much intermingling going on, and
we didn't even mention this. So Millie comes back. Her and Nina, she's trying to help Nina, and there's a big fight with Andrew. He gets out of the room. There's this big struggle, and then Andrew goes over the stairs.
That's how he ended up. Really but the whole Beyonce like over the banister. Remember how really
but the police officer that was questioning them, she was the sister of Andrew's fiance before Nina.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was.
Yeah.
And,
but in the book, it's a man, and he's the father.
Yes.
Of the ex-fiance.
Oh no! Okay.
Yeah, because that's what it is. Because they were like, because I think the other subplots is like, who was Andrew engaged to before? Because remember his other fiance like kind of disappeared in thin air, and everyone was trying to figure it out. Then Nina came in the scene because she worked at his office and kind of like smutted her way into his arms and all that kind of stuff, and.
Smutted her way?
Yeah. And then all those okay. Because she was like, he was like, Andrew's one of those people like, I'm going to take my assistant to dinner, and then magically you become the wife. But then it's like, no one fact checks like, but why is this really handsome man single? Because clearly he has either a fetish or some, like, he's crazy, y'all. If y'all ever meet a man, he's too good to be true. He is going to be crazy, like in real life and in books and in movies. Like they always end up being bad news, and then like
true. And anything that seems too good to be true.
Yeah, like on both sides, like all of this was like the perfect storm of like. This is why you should never covet somebody else's home, because you never know what is happening behind those closed doors. And in this one home, the kid was crazy. All the women in there are crazy. He's crazy. The mama's crazy. Like, even when she finds out her son is dead, she is just kind of like, good job. I knew, like what is happening right now? Like, high five.
Has respect for it. Yeah.
Like it is a very twisty book, which is why like Gone Girl was twisty, but this had so many more layers and levels that at any given point, you're questioning yourself. You're hating all of the characters. You don't know who to feel bad for anymore. You're just like, what did I get myself?
The only character you could like through and through, at least in my opinion, was Enzo.
Enzo.
Yeah. No.
I don't know. I like Enzo. He's cool.
I can't trust nobody. There was no one I felt psychologically safe with in that book.
Not even Enzo. Come on.
No. And even more so, keep reading, and you will love Enzo.
Oh, see, I just started to
like Enzo was very ominous. Like
he could have warned her in English the whole time. And
like he had too many roles, and then like he's like, I want to help you, but don't want to help you. But then I feel like they were making it seem like Enzo didn't work for them. Like sometimes Nina was like he was just a random long guy in the middle of two houses in the neighborhood, and not like they employed him to be there. Like there was just so much.
Somebody's employing him. He's coming back to cut the grass every week.
Yeah, it was just so much random. I will tell you, the movie was a pleasant surprise because I was very frustrated listening to the book. I had to put it down. I had to let my library card lapse. I had to go recheck it out again because there was just so many. One, I think her book should come with trigger warnings. So for those of y'all who have not watched the movie or have read it and are sensitive to infidelity, domestic violence, infertility, like there was just too many trigger warnings. And I didn't know Freida like that at first because I was really like, what is happening? And then you like do a complete 180. And now you have me hating and questioning everything that I read and was going for. Then we do another 180 and we not even on the other side that we started with. Like, for someone who was not familiar, or even just reading The Coworker, it was not like that. So if you are not familiar with the Housemaid series, like, it definitely should come with a disclaimer, and it may take a minute to like just get adjusted and acclimated to the style, but she uses a lot of triggering themes to make the point. Turns out to be very great writing, and I think once I set the stage, it was easier to read the other books. But like this first one, I was like really on the edge, and then to go and see the movie, and my husband didn't know none of that was happening, and he was kind of like watching me, and he was like, how do you feel about some of these themes? And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm happy I read the book first, because I think if I would have saw the movie first, it's one of those movies like when you don't know the person's gonna die of cancer or something, like it's like definitely like you could be bawling in the middle of this movie. So reading the book really gave me a stronger foundation to anticipate things. And even with the changes, though, I was pleasantly surprised. Like, this is one of the first times that I was like, oh no, like the movie actually did the book justice. The movie was actually a bit better than the book, partly because my mind, like my mind couldn't put the imagery together. Like I needed illustrations while I was reading that book.
And this is where
the movie didn't get it done for me.
No, you don't think so?
I respectfully disagree. I thought the book was a lot.
I did not leave disappointed. I did not even though I know where y'all's disappointments come. I did not leave disappointed though.
No. I enjoyed the movie.
I was wow, like they did do it justice in its own, knowing that they had to adapt things for the screen. Now, I'm the kind of person I would rather movies just be made verbatim based off the book, because I liked all of the plots and the themes and just add the color to it. But I do understand like they have to like adjust and modify things for.
Or you make it a mini series and you run the risk of
doing too much.
Audience not sticking with it. But they've already signed off to do a part 2 or the second book in this series, so I think that should be pretty neat. Jacob, which one did you feel was better, the book or the movie?
The book for sure. I liked the book more. The book made more sense to me. The movie did visually, I thought they brought it to life pretty well. I thought there were some things that I thought the casting wasn't great for Nina or for Millie, honestly.
So tell me who you would have wanted instead. Like, who would you replace them with? Because I just kind of like, those two actresses just as people. So I was like, I was cool with it. But like, who would we want differently than that would be more of what we may have thought? Like, who else?
I guess, Sydney Sweeney's fine.
You would have rather Blake Lively? You think she's crazier?
No, well, Blake Lively would be too old for Millie.
Well, that's the other part.
No, but the thing about Millie is Nina is she was supposed to have gained all this weight and made herself unattractive.
Yeah.
And they didn't follow that. So I don't know who I'd pick. I'm not a casting agent, but I don't know. I think they got the age right, but I don't know. But Amanda Seyfried's a great actress, and I thought she brought Nina's character to life really well, at least in her actions and personality.
Well, and I think as being an older person, like, I think it's pretty cool of seeing someone like her, that was like the ditzy girl in like Mean Girls or like in Mamma Mia, like now having this very mature adult role. It's kind of like when you see Mandy Moore and all of them, it's like, oh my gosh, you're old enough to be the mother in this show, and like I just think for me it's the nostalgia of someone in your age, because that was something me and Randall talked about, and he was like, oh, and I was like she's our age, Randall. I was like, this girl is the same like 40 something we are now. Like when we were watching her, she was like young back then. So it is kind of cool to kind of see the evolution that some of the people you admired as child actors are like now the people they're casting to be the mamas in these like housewife type of series and things like that. So I enjoyed her as just an actress, and seeing her have a more evolved role and something a little bit different than what people may have known her from.
Yeah, and I remember watching an interview with her where she was saying like, motherhood and everything kind of changed the roles that she was even offered in Hollywood. But I mean to that point, I would say like if you grew up watching an actor or an actress, like do you want them to kind of be typecast into one role or one situation.
No, you don't.
And it's absolutely not, right? So yeah, but Amanda is an incredible actress.
Yeah.
What was that movie? The lady just went to prison.
Oh yeah, she played Emily.
Yes, that miniseries is fantastic.
And kind of a similar kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Holmes, right? Elizabeth Holmes, is that her name?
Elizabeth Holmes, yeah. I think it was on Hulu. Yeah, she did the miniseries, and me and
that
Ash
was
watched
great.
that in like 2 days. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
She's also in a movie I just put in the chat. It's called Things Seen and Heard. It's a cool little Netflix produced psychological thriller that she's in. She plays like kind of a battered wife in that one too, and she's really good in that. It's also a book, but I didn't read the book, but so Things Seen and Heard is pretty good.
I'll add it on my Libby list.
You know what they could have done instead of Sydney Sweeney was the girl that played her sister in Euphoria, Maud Apatow. Apatow. You know who I'm talking about? Yeah. She's Judd's daughter, and then her mom's someone famous too. That I don't know. I was picturing someone Burnett more. I don't know. I don't know anything, so I'm not. So they did better than I could have done. I did like the ending in the book, how they killed Andrew in the book more than they did in the movie.
Yeah, it was kind of sloppy in the movie, like
a little bit, yeah. And I liked the idea of it not being. It just being so humiliating. He's just stuck in that room for 4 days and can't get out and dies of thirst. You know, I thought that's what he deserved.
I mean, you know, dehydration is a real thing, you guys. Like,
yeah, you gotta hydrate. Hydrate. So with that being said, not a lot of hot stuff in the movie, but we had to break this one down. Dr. Johnson will join us on the future podcast with anything Housemaid related. I mean, she's locked in on that one. Like,
oh yeah,
so we're gonna do number 2 then.
We have to do number 2. Okay. We have to do now. Did they give a date for release?
To the cinematography, because now I don't know. Maybe they hear our concerns, and like the second book is like a little bit different. So it will be interesting to see how that comes alive, because it's another very layered plot and storyline.
Or maybe they don't hear our concerns. Or they, they invite us to come hang out on the set.
I mean, I'll take a premiere.
Whatever. We need someone to invite us to the Red Carpet.
Yeah. Well, Freida, we need you to come on the pod. So this is I'm talking to you directly here.
Can we slide in them DMs?
Yeah. I'm sliding right here. We want you to come on.
We would love to.
We're fans. We're optometrists, colleagues, and we love the work.
Yeah, we can talk about she said she's a brain surgeon.
Yeah,
we could talk about some neurooptometry or something. It'd be cool.
We can lace that, and then whenever she's writing her next book, we can come on as consultants.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you know, for those of y'all studying for boards that need a little relief, there's a little pharmacology in her books. So
okay,
you learn a few conditions.
Dr. Johnson, man, we want to thank you for joining us this evening. It's always a pleasure, per usual. Any parting shots?
Yeah, no, y'all.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
I gave them to y'all, but go and read the books. If you're a Libby fan like the rest of us, that was the funny part. This is my last kind of closing part. So we're leaving the movies, and another couple is like, you know, we're waiting to the end because we were like, we feel like this may be one of those movies.
Right.
After the credits. So I was like, we got to watch just in case, especially if she's doing setting it up, because in the book, it sets you up for the next book type of thing. So I would have really appreciated one of those things, at the end of Zootopia, set me up for the what's next to come. But she was talking about at that time, about a month or so ago, the second book was so hard to get. And for some reason, on Libby, her books, you can't check them out as a book. They're predominantly audio books. And when I was going through her social media, a lot of her books she releases because of the audio quality. And she's very particular on who the voice actor is and all of those kinds of things. So my husband heard that, and he was like, oh, my wife is on the waiting list too, you know. And it's right at that moment as I'm leaving the movie theater, it's your book is now ready. And I was so immediately, it's only been we're not even 35 days into the new year, and I have read book 1, 2, 2.5, And literally, as of last night, I just finished book 3.
Sweet.
So 4
Okay.
books down already at the start of the new year. I will exceed my 1 book a month. And then like she alludes to like other authors and books. And right now I'm like listening to other books with my kids. And in one of her future books, she like alludes to Louis Saker, and Louis Saker is the guy who writes the Wayside Stories. So it's like at the same time I'm reading like Freida McFadden and listening to Louis Saker books with my kids on top of Amelia Bedelia. So I just thought it was like a full circle that I was like, she also likes Louis Saker. I am also listening to these books all over again while I'm also listening to Freida. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we gotta have you back. We gotta have you back. But just so we
sure.
we are clear, I thought the movie was better than the book, but I'm not. I mean, excuse me. I thought the book was better than the movie, but I'm not. But I'm not mad at the movie. I did enjoy the movie. Jacob, your final thoughts on book or movie?
Book, but I'd watch the movie again. The movie was fun.
And
yeah.
Just so we're clear, Essence is the odd man out.
I mean, I love the book. Clearly, it was written amazing. I'm saying though, for a book to be adapted to a movie, this one was done very, very well, because a lot of times the mark is even more missed. And I needed, I told y'all, her books are a little bit of a mind F, so I needed, I needed,
really
I needed. I'm more of a video, audio, and a visual learner. So for this particular series, I needed the audio and the visual to kind of like come together. So the movie really like brought it to life.
Because I asked Eric and Rosalind, like, what do y'all think? Did you think it was just? Could you see the twist coming? And like, yeah, we I don't know if they just came in to gas me or whatever.
Maybe they're really good at that, but I am like, I think that's why I like it.
But I don't think we was talking about the Housemaid. It must have been something else. Like, bro, I did not see that.
Like there's no like now when you read the other books, it's like you're anticipating it. But even after I have read this book and I know something is coming, I still like this last book I read. I have literally re-listened to the last 10 chapters 5 times because I feel like I'm missing something, and it's like, it's not there. But I was like, I must be missing something. And it's like, this is all she is giving you. Like, she very, very well. And the way that she makes the twist with another twist, like, this is like in gymnastics, she did 2 half twists and then finished. Like, this isn't just one twist. Like, there's lots of twists, and I have find myself, I need to re-listen and reread her stuff, because sometimes I'm like, I must have missed something. And I think that that's like the beauty of her writing, that like, maybe it's the brain surgeon in her. Like there's always one piece that's missing. And it's not like you need that piece, but it's like your brain is wanting that piece to be filled in. And it's like she writes a book still. It's like putting a puzzle together and you're still missing that one piece. And you're like, I finished it, but you still feel incomplete, but not in a bad way. And I feel like she's always leaving one piece out that I'm like, I'm trying to find the Easter egg. And it's like, it's not there. Like, no, she gave you what she gave you. And now it's time to move on. And you're kind of like, no, I must have missed it. And I have done that with every single book, looking for like that extra piece. And I have noticed that like, there's always like one, like how you said, she glosses over it. Like the movie's giving us all this detail in the book. It's like, you turn the page and you're like, that's it. You made me.
Yeah, you look at the back and you're like,
yeah, it's like when you watch those series, the Shy does that a lot. You start and it's like, on the last episode, and you're like, none of that happened in the last episode. Like I watched, like, why are we using the first 5 minutes to recap something that did not happen? And it makes you feel like you were missing something. And I feel like that's kind of what Freida does. Like she assumes a lot by the next chapter that you're like, hold up, we were just like locked up in a room. How did we get here to this hotel all of a sudden? And it's like, we just are. But well done.
Yeah, well done.
Well done.
Yeah, it was solid. Solid.
You guys.
I'll see you guys for part 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, going down for sure.
Part 2.
Until next time, this has been another episode of the OD'ing On Movies podcast, brought to you by Dr. Jacoby Cleaver and Jacob Wilson. Excuse me, Dr. Jacoby Cleaver, Dr. Jacob Wilson, and special guest, friend, sister, colleague, best bud, Dr. Essence Johnson. Thanks, Essence. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye, you guys.
All right, that's it for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't miss the sequel. Get your eyes checked.